Hi everybody! So this is my first live stream ever in the history of my channel. Right now we're outside and I mainly wanted to do this to explain to you guys what happened a couple of weeks ago and to update you on life so far. Also, if any of you want to ask me questions or have requests that I can do now, like don't ask me for more Drary because I won't be able to record it during the time of this video. I will be more than happy to answer those questions if you guys just want to comment them in. And hello, Miss Trinity Brown. Nice to see you. So, basically, some of you may have noticed that a couple of weeks ago something weird happened on my channel. There were suddenly a bunch of videos on there that I did not add. So what happened was my husband and I did get into an argument, and his reaction was this. But, oh, we got a nice question from Ninja Animations that says, how did I get started with fanfictions? Basically, I started a job that was a lot of busy work, which means I basically was scanning in papers all day into a scanner, so they would let us listen to whatever we wanted to bring into the workplace. And I said I wanted to listen to audiobooks, of course. We're just going to take a little stroll. But the library only had so many at one time. So I got tired of waiting for the library to give me new ones, so I started making my own. What is my favorite fan fiction is the next question. Out of the ones I've recorded, it's probably, there might be some Collateral Damage, The Not So Great Pretender, or The Marriage Stone. I really, 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 really love The Marriage Stone because it's just a very good one. Hi everybody! How did I get into anime? That's an interesting one. I don't actually remember. I do remember that a old childhood friend of mine was really into the Witch series, and I started reading them, and maybe I looked it up online and wanted to watch some, and I discovered and I found other animes that I wanted to watch, and it just snowballed from there. Avatar: The Last Airbender was also one of the first ones, the first animated thing that I watched, and it is still beloved in my family to this day. We all really love that series. So, oh yes, have I cosplayed? I actually love cosplaying. I have done 3 characters in my history. I started with Maka Albarn from Soul Eater, and I did Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. He is my favorite of all time, and he is the best costume I have. Is Ravenclaw. Like, no question at all about what house I am. I am a straight up Ravenclaw, definitely. Because I'm crazy intelligent, but people also don't always get that. It's part of me being an Asperger's person. That I have very specific interests, being fandom, and I sometimes don't know when to bring it up. Yes! Ravenclaws! We stick together. Actually, there's actually something really sad about Ravenclaw, is that all of our actual merch is silver and blue when our colors are blue and bronze. So, I already answered which fanfiction do I like the most. I don't really have an opinion on Dobby's attractiveness. I think he's okay. He scares the dickens out of some of my siblings. I do take fanfiction requests to a point. Like, if you give me one, I'll read it, and I may or may not record it based on how many lemons there are, if I can get permission, if I can actually record it, because some have, like, chat stories are very difficult for me to do, because I can't read their names before every time I read their sentence. Like, I don't know if you've read Canary, so during, like, the radio segments in Canary, it's difficult. I don't know if I find Harry attractive. He's very messy. I am not very ticklish. Yes, I'm a Clance shipper. I love it. I'm a very strong Catholic, and I try to never take the Lord's name in vain. Which is really difficult when I have to do characters like Bakugo and he's swearing all the time. Oh, dear Bakugo, why must you swear so much? And I'm glad you were loving Canary so much, because I really love recording him, especially when I get to sing, because that's not a skill I really get to do much anymore. So I really enjoyed the singing parts of that. Also, it's just a really fun story. The radio parts are good, as much as I complain about having to do present mic. Why must he scream? I'm not sure what a kink is. Excuse me. But I am a really big sucker for male pregnancy, if that counts. I have heard of Hetalia, but I'm sorry, I just can't. I have never been able to get to the end of that. I do not like that one very much. Bakudeku and Tododeku are both really interesting pairings, but I don't know, they both have really good story ideas. There's chemistry between both of them. I wouldn't say whether I like either better or not, I don't know. I found way more good Tododeku stories than I have Bakugo. And I'm not sure how to... No, I do not find Dumbledore attractive at all. Favorite HP ships? Well, there's so many out there, it's impossible to answer that question quickly. I more go for specific stories in that fandom than I do for overall ships. Like, I know there are so many of my readers who want more Draco Harry stories, but it is impossible to find. How to start cosplay? Find something that you like and then go wild shopping on Halloween. You will not believe the amount of good stuff there is there. My favorite, Loki and Tony from Avengers, because they're both very polarizing characters. Some people hate them, some people like them. I happen to love both of them. I was totally Team Tony on the Civil War debacle. Ugh, sorry, doing this on a phone. I am not transgender, and that is just very confusing to me. I agree with the church's aspect, but it's just very difficult for me. And yes, I'm not sure if I want to answer that question. That's kind of invasive, sorry. It's very sensitive for me because we're going through a really rough patch right now, but yes, I am married, I suppose. But it's a very rough patch right now, which is why we're taking some space away from each other to figure out what our next step is going to be. Can you guys see well? Is this okay? We actually have snow here, so I'm gonna go outside. So this is the yard, and my parents actually have about 38 acres of land out here, and there's a beautiful woods, there's beautiful orchards. I don't have a bucket list. There are things I would like to do in my life, and one of them is getting this channel. Originally, when I was born in Wisconsin, but I live in Washington State now. I think I'm gonna keep politics out of this. Guys, this is a stream for mostly fandom stuff. Let's keep it friendly. I will say, however, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep away from the political stuff, guys. Because it's tricky to answer that without any prep. Because it's a minefield. Now, I am not into... As much as I may read them for you guys, I do not necessarily like lemons and smut and all of that. In fact, most of the time in readings, I will skip it. Guys, can I respectfully ask that we keep politics out of this? If you're asking about my health, yes, I'm fine. the virus has not affected me. However, my work, which is a giant water park, did get shut down, so which is why I'm here. Huh. I actually already did that once. I found a fanfiction that I really enjoyed, but I did not like the way the author did it. Like, there was mean backstabbing and the writing wasn't the best, so I redid that story. And you can find it on my profile as A Real Queen. It's part of the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom, which I have not done any... Oh no, wait, I did do Smirks. Oh, Smirks is another one of my favorites. It's one of the one-shots, and it is hilarious. I had so much fun doing that one. But I did do a story for that fandom called A Real Queen, which is the fanfiction I had read revamped. I read for both. Like, there are specific types of stories that I look for, and sometimes I do look just for random ships. Like, what did I search recently? Rayla and Callum from Dragon Prince. You could definitely give me suggestions to read, even if it's just to read for pleasure and not out loud, but if I find something that I really like, I will usually record it. Even if I don't think it's going to be popular. There are a couple stories I've recorded purely for my own enjoyment, and there are a couple where I didn't get permission from the author, so there's recordings just sitting on my computer doing nothing because I didn't get permission, but I love them so much. I've actually seen one fanfiction that did that, and it was not pretty. I don't know if... My favorite expression? Like, words, as in a bird in the hand is worth two on a bush, or facial expression. Because I love facial expressions. I was an actress for a number of years, and doing facial expressions was an art form. My favorite book has to be the series Full Metal Alchemist, because that story is so crazy good and it goes such a wide scope. As for words, my favorite two expressions at this moment are, it'll be alright in the end. If it's not alright, it's not the end. And if God brings you to it, He'll bring you through it. My favorite facial expression, I'll just do for you guys. The skeptical eyebrow. I personally believe that eyebrows are 80% of the facial expression. I'm betting most. As for what animes you should all start watching, My Hero Academia is a very good one that's currently on, but there's another one that I feel is severely underappreciated, and that's Dr. Stone. My favorite animal is a swan, because they're big and beautiful and elegant, but if you get them mad, they can kill you or break your leg. One Punch Man. Huh. I will definitely look into that one later. Any acting tips? If you're acting for a stage, make it extremely exaggerated and learn how to do your stage makeup well. If you're doing it for a movie, learn about micro expressions, which is the tiny expressions your face makes before you can control it. Favorite religion is definitely Catholicism. It's the one I grew up with and the one that has carried me through a lot of crazy. I have not yet seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I'm not sure if I will, because that anime is not my cup of tea. I might have to read it. I do not know what that is. I do love Backslide too. It's a very good one. You know what? I actually haven't visited that fandom in a while. I should go back there. No, I don't think I'm part of a Jedi religion. And I've not heard of Halo, but that would be interesting. I am very limited in what I can find because I only have like 2 streaming services, Netflix and Hulu. So if there's something on there, if you recommend something and it's not on there, I really don't have much choice. But it's snowing a bit hard now, so I think we're gonna go inside. Those two are a very interesting couple. It depends on the fanfiction I'm reading. There are some really good ones and some very terrible ones. I have seen Fruit Basket. That one was very good. It's one of the few girl animes that I actually enjoy. The other one is Host Club. Well, we're going inside just in time because my mom and my super sporty sister just got back, so I'm gonna go inside. So this is where my daughter and I have been living for the past couple of months. My parents have a refurbished garage that has a bathroom and a small kitchen area, and we basically pull out the hide-a-bed every day. So we're living Japanese style, where you put away everything that you use so that you can use the space for something else. So this is where we've been staying. My daughter is 1 year and 3 months about. She's really adorable. There's actually a video where you can see her. She's in it, and I think it's called an explanation. I think that, well, the dynamic is actually in the anime itself, Mami Kyoya and Daddy Kamake, so it's adorable. I don't know if I would actually have them as a couple. Because that is one, Haruhi is just adorable with whoever you put her with, because she's so deadpan and normal with all these crazies. So, I don't know if I would do a slash pairing with that anime, because she just makes it work with every single person you can put her with. She's that fandom's bicycle. And I think there was another question there that I did not see because I was trying to show you guys the house. Oh, but there is one thing that I kind of want to show you guys that is important for this channel. I had my birthday about 2 months ago, and I got this, a brand new microphone. So the quality of the videos should be going up soon because we have better equipment. So I think around chapter 27 for Canary, and then I'm also working on another story that will make all you Harry Potter fans very happy. And that one is also going to get an upgrade in its sound quality. I'm sorry, I've never done this before. My mind is stalling slightly. I'm so nervous. It's very cold out here. It was snowing. So we're all just trying to stay warm and stay healthy and stay away from people without inducing mass hysteria, because it's not pretty here. Like, I had to go to Walmart the other day, and the only shelves in the entire store that were empty were the disinfectant and the toilet paper. And nobody even understands why the toilet paper. I don't know about Snape. Some people are right in that he is a bad bully. As my daughter is only 1 year old, yes. And he really shouldn't be taking it out on Harry. But at the same time, he's a double agent, a spy, and that is a scary place to be and a lot of stress. I do think there's a lot of good fan fiction out there that really develops his character and makes him more interesting. And I do like people who play with his background. Like, we all know that he's a half-blood from canon, but people who take that and make it different, like they do in the Marriage Stone, where he's a pureblood, are very interesting. I just use Garden Brand Variety makeup. I am not a makeup artist at all. I've had the same makeup kit probably for the last 10 years, because I almost never put on any makeup. I love crossovers. Some of my favorites are crossovers because there are some characters that you could just drop into a universe and they'll go wild. Like, I personally love putting Edward Elric in different situations. Like, I think I've put him in at least Ice Shield 21 and Narnia. And Narnia is critically underwritten for. There were so good fan fictions out there for Narnia. Please, people, show me some more. Because I need to record at least 2 more for Narnia, because I grew up on that series and I only have 1. And it's a bad one-shot. So please, show me some more Narnia. And for anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, there's a series by C.S. Lewis called The Chronicles of Narnia, and it is a very good read. I really love that one. That was the one I fell in love with way before Harry Potter. It's an old series that made the originals before you did. The writing is a little old-fashioned, which is to be expected because it was around the same time as Lord of the Rings. I don't really have a favorite emoji, except maybe the classic fine smiling face or the winking face, because I just don't use emojis very often in typing or anything. I'm a little bit behind the times on the technology, like this is my first time going live. Canary, for those of you who don't know, is basically a story that takes place in a world where everybody has superheroes, and one kid thinks he doesn't have powers because he doesn't speak. And his power turns out to be something that requires him to speak. And the story just takes off from there. I won't say any more, but I do think you'd enjoy it. Do I like Marvel? Yes, I do like Marvel. I am a huge Tony Stark fan. I'm not sure how I feel about Steve Rogers. I'm sorry, I just really love Iron Man. He's such a complicated character. He is so much fun to play with in... Oh... Well, I'll just finish my train of thought. So, he's very interesting for me, and I like to read a lot of stuff with him. Right now, I'm reading a story where he is in a relationship with a female Harry Potter. And Narnia is not like Marvel at all. It's an old story. Like, think Lord of the Rings, but slightly different. And do I like Loki? Yes, I can say I really love Loki. He's a lot of fun. He's a trickster. And tricksters are always a lot of fun, but people take him and put him in mythology, or they make him the god of magic. It's very interesting. Thank you for the suggestion, Ninja Animations. I do have some time on my hands. I can check that out today, probably. I have not heard of Mr. Erd, and I would have to look that up, because that looks interesting, but I'm not sure. No, I do not know who that is. Sorry if this is boring to you guys who can't see the comments. I'm just trying to keep up with the conversation here. Oh, so I'm getting questions about a Mr. Erd, and it looks like he's part of Welsh mythology. So, I don't have my computer booted up right now, so it would take me a really long time to look that up, and I'm not sure how to do that on my phone. I think I have heard of him before, and I will take a look-see and see who he is. Okay. So it does look like, based on the conversation I'm seeing here, he is a god, and there's an active religion dedicated to him in... I'm not sure where it would be. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Grier Ariana. I'm thankful that my videos can help in any way, which is the reason I started putting them online in the first place, instead of just hoarding them all to myself, because I wanted to share it, because I thought it was fun. So, I only have about until 12:30, because I need to clean up and have lunch before my daughter comes home. So, thank you all for being a great crowd, and thank you for all the questions and encouragement. And I'm gonna try and see how I turn this off. Ugh. Where is it? So I did. All that name pronunciation I have to do in fanfiction is worth something. I mean, have you seen some of the stuff I have to get my How many people could take tattoo? I'm I'm sorry, I just love saying his name because it is so dang funny. And that author has a very interesting way of naming her characters. Sometimes it is difficult for me to make choices for each character. Like in Canary, I have so and Aizawa and attitudes. They're both kind of sleepy bad. Really, I did the exact same. How do I distinguish between the two? That's a big problem for a lot of characters. Also, the girls. It may surprise you, but I have a really hard time making a bunch of different girls because I can do Rebecca up here, or I could do Hermione and give it a little bit of an accent. But I eventually ran, yes, that's how it's totally thing for a single character. It's adorable. And I really love stories where I get to see Dadzawa. I blame it on my best friend because she reads fanfiction for the family elements, or I might read them for the ships in the story. So she will push me towards Dadaizawa. I know it's maybe not a really very good English accent. I just need something to differentiate. A lot of people have said I make Ron Australian. I might do a couple of studies into how to do better accents, but at this point, I'm just trying to make them sound different from each other. Like, doing a Remus Lupin British accent is a lot different than how I might do a Ron British accent or a Hermione. I do not know how to do a Welsh accent, and I really don't want to try and butcher it. Because I'm an actress, I like to get things a little bit right, at least. I really only have a couple of accents that I can do, which is British, French, and something I think is Russian. Because I did that when I was doing Viktor Nikiforov from Yuri on Ice. Speaking of which, if Slash is not your thing, do not read that series. I do not know how to do an Indian accent, and I'm assuming you mean India, not Native American. I keep accidentally kicking Kateri's toys. They're all over the floor. Star Wars stuff is very unpopular. Nobody really watches a lot of the Star Wars stuff I've done. And I have a lot of different stories that people have recommended to me and lined up, and things I found that I want to do. There's also just not very much good Star Wars, especially about the older generation, like Luke and Leia. And those are my favorites. Oh. Speaking of... I am your father. I know, it's really bad. I don't have a German accent. I have something I think is German, I think is Russian. Nobody can really tell what it is. And no, I don't have a pet. My daughter keeps me busy enough. I didn't even know Diary of a Wimpy Kid was an anime. I've seen the live action video and my friend... Oh, I was not either aware that Shrek was an anime. I know it's an animated thing, but I think there may be a little bit of a confusion here. There's animation and then there's anime. Anime is a cartoon from Japan that is based on a Japanese cartoon called a manga. That is anime in that particular term. Everything else is anime because it is not made in Japan. Likewise, Shrek, or Diary of a Wimpy Kid, or those are Dragon Prince are not anime because they're not from Japan. Guys, don't make jokes with me. I can't tell when it's on a page. Like, communication as a whole is like only 20% actually words. Everything else is body language and facial expression and tone. And you can't get body language and facial expression and tone when it's just text on a phone. Believe me, I know that one. That was part of my studies, to be an actual human being instead of a Asperger's brain. Well, it was great talking to you guys, but it is past 12:30 here, so I need to go. Because oh, yes, I have seen Blue Exorcist, but I'm going to have to pause it. Alright. I will see you guys hopefully soon, and if you want me to do another live stream, let me know on the communities channel.